Big welcome to the Young Hearts Run Free podcast. Derek, Martin and Paul Stoddart. How are you doing this evening?
Not bad,
We're good.
Yes, well, it's season finale time, guys, and we have much to catch up on our recent trip to Tokyo, which will be no surprise to the listeners, is the main topic of conversation. Maybe no the only topic of conversation this evening. We'll see about that. But that is what we're aiming for. You've been furnished with a very full question set that I shall attempt to guide you through in my particular interview style. If we go off piste, it's all right. Are you good to go? So the first question we've pitched at you is that we were all in Tokyo together to get another star in our World Marathon major quest. Stoddy, where are you and where are you on that journey?
That was my sixth and maybe final one, along with your good self. I say maybe just because there's more introduced, so I don't think you're ever really going to be finished if you want to keep going with them all. But for the moment, anyway, they're done the last one. Although I'm still going to go back to London in a few weeks and some unfinished business at Berlin that Derek will probably explain a bit better on his.
Derek, star number
5 it was for me. So 6 coming up in Berlin, which I'm looking forward to. But Tokyo was a great number 5.
87.5% of the way there. No, that's not right, is it? That's a load of shite.
No, that is close enough, is it not?
No, is that right? I think it could be 82.5%. Anyway, we're not here to discuss Stephen's lack of arithmetic and mathematics. Well done, Stoddy. Derek, Berlin awaits.
Yep, looking forward to it.
And as a wee, before we actually landed in the land of the rising sun, how was your training and stuff, Derek? Were you happy with where you were pre-race?
Like everyone, there was always a niggle, wasn't there? So it had been going well, and then I went on holiday for a week and hamstring tweaked. So maybe 8 weeks out or something. So I had about 10 days of feeling no much. But then after that I could run. Didn't really do much speed work, but managed to get the longer miles in, and that certainly helped a lot. And near the end, a couple of sessions. So not perfect, but probably that's the way it's always going to be. So it was good enough.
And just for point of reference, you'd done star number 4 in New York back at the start of November.
That's right. Yep.
Cool.
So yeah, I was kind of recovered from that up to that point. I had a few weeks off and then picked it up again December. But it was in January, early January, the hamstring went. But fortunately, it wasn't a pull. It was just a strain, which was pretty annoying though.
We all know those. Just
Exactly.
niggles away when you're lying on the couch. You're going, I can feel that. Paul, what about yourself? Build up.
Mine's wasn't perfect, but it was as good as can be expected, all things considered. I was in New York as well, doing star number 5. A few weeks after doing star number 4, I was doing a wee bit of cramming because I had time qualifiers for a few, and I thought you might never get another opportunity. You don't know what's round the corner. You do these things while you can. You don't always run when you're ready. You have to run when the race is on and when you get the opportunity. So I had some knee problems, so I actually had knee surgery the day after I get back from New York Marathon to give as much time as possible to get ready for Tokyo. In hindsight, probably a bit stupid, but what can you do? Like I say, you do it while you can. So I had a 2-month hiatus after New York, so I didn't run till about Christmas time. So I'd done 7-week training before I started moving again. So I had 7 short weeks to get ready for Tokyo. So yeah, training went as well as it could when you're cramming it into 7 short weeks. But yeah, what can you do?
What indeed can you do? And aye, it was like you say, I think you made a good point there. It's like you don't know what's round the corner. Like, for example, knee surgery. So
And I'd struggled through, to be honest, Berlin and New York with gritted teeth, and it was just getting too sore. I couldn't continue to do it that way. So yeah, I sucked up and went for my first ever surgery, which was a good laugh.
A good laugh. Aye, there's a tipping point, where how much you can tolerate, and it sounds like at Berlin and particularly New York, that tipping point had been breached.
Do you know what? It's not so bad. But I need to take this hat off. I'm just wearing my Tokyo hat. I need to take it off. I never wear hats. I think they're more for the follically challenged to hide what they don't have. So it's too hot for me. I wasn't meaning you, Derek. Or 90% of the other people are probably just annoyed. So what were we talking about?
Pain points.
Pain points. Do you know what? We'll come the race. You can always manage in a race because excitement gets you through, endorphins get you through, and painkillers get you through. But you can only do that so much. You can't do that for all your training runs. That's when it was just getting really difficult. It's hard enough. You look at the windy night and it's pissing a rain and it's dark, it's grim. And when you've also got to grit your teeth to get through the pain as well, it takes every last bit of fun out of it. So I just couldn't suffer the pain any longer, to be brutally honest.
So a very short lead in to Tokyo, but having shared some of those training runs with you, you were pretty determined to get yourself in decent shape for being on the start line, which I reckon, I don't know if you could have done much better, to be honest.
Oh,
So.
absolutely. And do you know what? And obviously sharing training runs helps as well when you're doing these things on your own. Because everybody always gets, Derek was saying earlier, everybody always gets something going on. So listen to other people's issues as well. So it makes you feel a bit better about your own, doesn't it?
Very, very true. So we're going to bounce about a wee bit between running stuff. We'll try and speak more about running than I did when I did my debrief, honestly, listeners. But there's also lots of non-running aspects that we need to touch on because it was our first, for each of us, it was our first trip to Japan. I think I didn't even ask that question before. I'm assuming so.
Yeah, first for me.
Yep.
And Derek, we're going to start with you because you were in the advanced party, so to speak. You went out a couple of days before Paul and I joined you, so you were doing the recce. What was your immediate whoa moment when you reached the
I think you've touched on
country?
it in your debrief, your more extended debrief, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot about trains. But the first thing you do is you get the train from, as you said, from Narita into the Tokyo station, so straight into the centre. So the train went fine, but as soon as you get into Tokyo station was just crazy. So you come in from outside, so you assume you're coming in to a high platform, 5 levels, and that train came in 4 under. So I climbed one level, thinking, right, this must be me close to the exit. And all it was shocks, and I don't know, it must have been 800 meters long or something, all the shocks. So I eventually managed to get out. Now remember, you're carrying your suitcase, your bag, you're off like a 17-hour flight. You're just like, I just want out. I couldn't see any exits. Took ages to get around, and it was mobbed, just as you'd imagine at a station. But it was Tuesday afternoon. Then I eventually found an exit. And then we went up and it was quiet. It was actually quieter up outside the train station than it was inside. And again, I think you touched on it. That was the thing I really noticed. That was the biggest culture shock, how quiet the roads were. So I think when you come out, it's Tokyo Station, at the side we come out, you realise it's a major city. Any other major city, whether it's New York, Chicago, Boston, Toronto, just skyscrapers everywhere. So you think, well, this could be anywhere except for the noise. So loads of traffic. No one beating their horn, no police, no fire engines, no ambulance. And it was like that all the walk along at the hotel. So that was probably the biggest culture shock. And of course, everyone's stopping at the red light. You're trying to cross the road. So it took me 15 minutes to walk, 8 minutes probably distance. So I was very good. I behaved at all these for 2 days until Paul and Stephen appeared, and they were like, "Oh fuck that! Let's just go. Come on, we're in a hurry."
Well, it is. You've maybe got like 5 yards of road to cross. There's no car coming from any direction or any sign of any cars, and yet there's a bunch of people just waiting there for the green man, and sometimes for what feels like an eternity, which is actually all right if you're not in a rush.
Yeah, it's not ideal for running, is it? When you're running from
No,
the
It's
Imperial
not ideal
Palace.
if you've travelled halfway around the world and you're standing waiting outside of a road. As far as I'm concerned, that green man was just there as a guide.
Optional.
Until even Derek was shaking his head at me after a while.
I'm like, oh, we're going to get caught. Cops are going to catch us.
you
But,
did get a few funny looks though for.
Oh, definitely. There's quite a few rolling of eyes and shaking of heads. Yeah, when you cross without your green man there. Not
That
as
was just-
much as when you've got your audio playing through your phone, Mr. Watt, and get chastised by the conductor on more than one occasion.
a cultural faux pas, we called that. I live and learn on that front. But yeah, we spoke extensively about the trains last. Well, when I spoke to John about it all, and we were at risk of turning into a bit of a train spotting podcast. But I'm embracing that. It's all
yeah,
right.
there's more. I'm sure there's going to be more train talk here.
Oh, there's definitely train content for ahead. Story, what about yourself?
Well, for me, it's kind of just similar to Cumbernauld, really, Tokyo. So it's kind of well, we were quite fortunate. Derek met us at the station and told us what door to leave for. So I was just kind of following the breadcrumbs from Derek, to be honest. So I didn't have the same sort of impact right away. But it was the next day in the daylight. We arrived late in the day, obviously. So was it dark when we got there? I think it was.
Yeah, it
Starting
was.
to get dark. Yeah, well, it was quite dark. So it was really the next day before we got to see what our environment was really like, I guess.
And Derek, you touched on how calm and quiet things were in comparison to other major cities. Any other initial cultural observations? What about yourself, Paul?
No, like Derek was saying, it's kind of quiet on the street. I think they're quite patient, I guess, Japanese people, but obviously because where we were in such close proximity to the city centre, there was a big subterranean city to it all. I mean, every station was massive. They all had multiple levels underneath. Every metro station, you were going down 2 or 3 levels. So there was a lot more going on underneath the ground than up on the surface, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And not a lot of, I think we had one siren the whole time we were there. Considering it's the most populous city in the world, that was quite a surprise. And you don't really think about it until you think about it, how quiet it is compared to your New York and London and even come on out. Open the window, I can hear screaming and things going on. I don't know what's going on out there.
But one of the things when I was thinking about it, I was actually speaking about it to somebody the other day about this. There's quite a lot of audio prompts that are built into the subconscious. Such as when you're crossing the road, it's that little quite nice bird cheep.
And it's slightly different whether you're crossing forward or to the side. It's a slightly different noise, which obviously when you get used to it, you can do, you know exactly where you're going without having to look, I guess.
Exactly, it just lives rent free.
Yeah.
Up here.
And even every train line had their own wee noise for approaching the platform. Every shop has their own wee tune when you walk in the door.
Yes, these are the things that I notice.
These are the things I miss. The
7-Eleven.
I'm kind of missing the 7-Eleven tune getting through that door.
Yes, more on that later. Okay, we're going to flip the switch a wee bit and think about running and the fact that we were there to run the marathon as such. Now, we went and signed up at the expo, and for me it was an expo. It's all right.
Yeah.
Well enough organised.
The bib collection, absolutely. Yeah, easy peasy. Maybe not compare. I don't think you can't really compare things to London. London is just exceptional when it comes to organisation, but because it doesn't matter what stand you go to, they print your number there and then. You don't need to queue at a specific area. London just has it down to a T, I think. But yeah, straightforward. Unless you wanted to buy a T-shirt, then you're screwed.
The T-shirt scramble was pretty, well, not like anything I've seen.
We didn't even bother, did we?
No.
What was the point? We're not going halfway around the world to spend an hour waiting in a queue to buy some merch and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was almost, that's what it became, like Disneyland, wasn't it? It was a 1 hour queue to get into the ASICS
not for us.
So yeah, you're not going to waste an hour to go in and buy some.
We had other stuff on our agenda, like eating. And
I thought you meant Can we say brand names? Can we say Tracksmith?
You're looking for an ambassadorship, and Derek's looking for a job. So feel free.
I'm just looking for a discount. I've used every different email alias I have to get their new customer discount, so I've ran out.
The world once I start working for them, telling you it's the place to be.
So if Tracksmith have got an internship, then Derek is free to hire. That's what we're saying. And then, okay, well, let's go to the Sunday morning race day. Getting to the start line, what were you feeling? And keeping in mind that, okay, for Paul and I, you've done everyone apart from Berlin, Derek. We've done them all, so we've kind of got a good comparison amongst us. What was the thoughts like in terms of getting to the start line and then that sort of pre-race anticipation?
Yeah. I'm a bit weird when it comes to that, though. A lot of folk don't like the pre-race and the nerves and all that. I'm the opposite. I love all that. Like I saying earlier, you don't know how long you're going to be doing these things for. So I came to all this quite late. I've only done it a few years, so I love all that. Not been doing it long and don't know how long you're going to do it. So I love the pre-race stuff. I love the excitement on the start line, and that's how my first few miles are usually 5:20 until I run out of energy.
Just a wee bit excited there.
Yeah, but for the start line itself, it was to be expected. You get all the warnings on how bad it is getting there, finding your corral and all that. But to be fair, it's usually all right. If folk can find the bad in everything, I think you need to just try and reframe it and find the better parts of it. And we're doing it together. We're getting lost together. We did get lost. In fact, we missed our stop, did we not?
We did.
95%, 99% of our train unloaded, and we thought, nah, we know better. We'll go to the next one. Did we fuck, as it turned out. And the poor was a wee French guy that was following us, like a wee lost puppy.
Oh,
crap. Of all the times you don't want to screw it up when somebody's following you for help and guidance and support, and to get the train back. Yeah, we should have known better. Yeah, sometimes you just follow the crowd like lemmings, and we didn't, and we should have. But there you go, we still managed to make it. Obviously, you didn't get to pee, but that probably didn't help.
No, I've talked about that extensively last week. So, and the solution that presented itself to me. So,
yeah, so you actually might not be allowed back in Japan. You might not be able to do a second attempt at it with all your misdemeanors over there between your vandalism with stickers and
I know.
urinations and pots.
Okay, I didn't realise this was an intervention. Cheers for that. Derek, yourself, you and I were in the same pen. Mr. Elite here was in the pen up with his rather ambitious forecasted race finish time at 2:30 or something.
Well, listen, aim high. Yeah, aim high. What can I do? I've never actually got where I've aimed, but I've aimed high.
No, it was fine. I think, like you just said, definitely nervous, and I think people had been going on about how difficult it was to find it. And we were going to Shinjuku Station, which apparently is the busiest station. So that was even bigger than Tokyo. And you'd heard stories about people getting lost in there for months, not getting out. But I think as we knew, you would get there and there'd be volunteers helping you. And that's exactly how it turned out. You know, within 2 yards, someone had a big sign pointing, go this way. So we got there fine. But as you say, there was certainly a bit nerves about getting to the toilet. I think all three of us, and remember we met Rob as well, all four of us split to try and find the toilet. I think I went to the one with the urinals, which was actually the best bet. That actually rattled through pretty quickly. And then, you knew it.
Bully for you,
eh? Aye. And then so busy. I think that's the only thing I remember, it being really busy. The corral we were in, it was C, I think. So it was still quite close to the front. But it was like sub-3 folk in it, but the sub-3 pacer guy was about 200 metres ahead, and we couldn't get anywhere near him. I just remember seeing the flag as we walked down the side, and before we get in, it was further and further and further. So it was busy. It was definitely busy at the start.
It was, once the gun went, it was certainly felt quite crammed, in the street, and not quite jockeying for position, but you had to hold your own.
Aye. Definitely. I think for the first.
There was a few folk hit the ground near me. There's a wee raised curb. See when you had the wee straight at the start, and just as it turned left, there was between the two lanes on the road, there was a wee raised curb in between. Not obviously normally separating traffic. So a couple of folk hit the ground just next to me. It was a shame. The race could have been over just as it started. But again, you need to have your wits about you at the start of these kind of races with how many people are doing it. Eh?
Definitely. And what about then? What was your pre-race aims and ambitions? If you don't mind me asking.
For myself, I was, to be honest, I would have walked it if I had to. So I was always going to finish it, no matter what. Like I said, it wasn't the best training block, but I still went out tasty for. I was still aiming to try and get sub 3, without any real reason to think I could have done it. So I think I did have a few 620s in the first few miles. I like to try and give yourself a chance to do these things and aim high, even if I think I'm not really capable of it at the time. I think I said to you before, Stephen, I like to try something and fail rather than regret never having tried it. You know what I mean? So I think I'm round a half in 128, and at that point though, I was gubbed. I was gubby then in the out and backs, and I kept seeing folk that were like 5 miles ahead of me. I'm thinking, fuck, man, what have I still got to do to get where they are? That kind of defeated me quite a lot doing that. I think I said to you before, I don't like doing out and backs. I hate seeing where I've still to get to. And usually I'm quite good at the mental things and just blocking these things out. But it's hard once you see it and you see how far ahead those folk are. And then they're coming up a hill, so I'm thinking, fuck, I need to come back up there as well. It's not just the distance they're ahead. That's me in hills, my nemesis. When I say hills, it was more of a slope, but you know me.
But those out and backs, just touching on them, they're unique, I think, to Tokyo. I can't think of them in any other.
Chicago had a big one, didn't it? Near the end.
Oh yeah,
Maybe about mile 22.
Just the one at the end.
Yeah. One was enough. In Tokyo, there must have been, well, I don't know, a few. Wasn't Spenny's 4, yeah.
4 or 5, yeah.
But that,
I think
the last one, you're going
bad.
downhill and turning around, that was tough.
That was the last one was that, and there was no protection for the sun, for the weather. But the other 3, it gave me something to think about, looking out for you boys ahead of me on the other side of the road. And I wasn't thinking, you're ahead of me. I've got a mile to catch up in them. I was just like, yes, that's just a fine distraction.
I waved at you, Watty, about 50 times because you know me, I don't wear my glasses running, but that purple Tracksmith vest was standing out. And there's so many people wearing them, so quite a lot of folk had me shouting Watty, and it wasn't you at all.
I'm sure you gave them a wee boost. Lasses with long blonde hair, not can imagine. Derek, yourself, were you setting out with intent?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I think, although the training had stalled a wee bit in the middle, I wasn't in bad shape. So again, probably what Paul, I was trying to go for sub 3. Started off that way. I'm probably a bit less tasty than Paul when we start off.
It was 99.9% of the population.
Exactly. So I try and be a bit more dull and steady as it goes, I suppose. But I have found that first half a mile, 3/4 was a bit annoying because it was really busy. And I think at one point it was going to 8:03 or something. I seen my watch, my pace, and you're thinking, bloody, this can't. You know it's going to open up, but the longer it went on, you're thinking this could be a race over right away. But probably after about half mile, I managed to get inside and got away. Then you get in a group running, the same pace, and then you just settle down. Out and back didn't bother me apart from that last one, as you say. So probably halfway about 129. But all these things, the GPS was way out. So I was hitting the halfway mark on my watch, like, I don't know, 200, 300, 400 metres before the signs. So you're not running quite at that pace, so you'll have extra distance. And as you say, the sun came out. It was okay at the start, wasn't it? But mile 5 or something, the sun came out, it got warmer. So once we got to that last one, about 34k, you're heading down and you see a sign across the road for 41k. And you're thinking, and it's getting hot then. That was probably the worst bit. And yeah, I think that's when I tired as well, just the last few miles.
I seen you at that point, didn't I?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I was looking out for the unique vests of the Cumbernauld Amateur Athletic Club. which are adored all over the world, by the way. Yeah, but you at some point then must have overtaken this chap here, Derek.
I did. I can't even remember what it was, but 14, 15 miles, something.
Roundabout, yeah. Was I walking? Was I walking?
No, you were still going.
I felt like I was walking. It gets that way though, when you drop your pace, you feel as if you're walking and running in treacle, and folk are going by you. I don't think I went by empty after like mile 14. It was just waves and waves of people going by me. The sub 3 train, the 305 train, they're all going by you, and each one defeats you another wee bit. It's another kicking the nuts every time a big train goes by you. But yeah, these are the challenges, eh?
Nicks another wee bit of your soul.
Aye, bastards.
Yeah, it is though when the big pacer goes by you that's got your maybe target pace on it, and there's about
that's when it's all slipping away.
80, 100 people kind of running strong behind them.
See, at that point, to be honest,
smart asses.
at that point, even that, I mean, still 12 miles to go and 10 miles to go, I was thinking, do you know what, if somebody offered me a 5-hour marathon and you don't need to go another step, I'd have took it. I just absolutely took it.
The unique thing that I was finding, you know, especially with the hydration tables, about having to grab your water and keeping in mind that they ran out of water for the people towards the back of the field. You were to grab water or the energy drink from an assigned table. Were you aware of that, Derek?
That was new information to me. First I knew about that was when you told me at the end. Didn't know anything about it. And do you know what? I probably wouldn't see it without my glasses on anyway. I just go for whatever I can get to without tripping somebody up or getting tripped up.
Yeah.
But it was complete new information to me. See, I don't read all the pre-race information. I just like the executive summary for one of you guys, which I was clearly never got.
No, obviously not. I was too busy taking
RTFM. We're at work. You're the guy, aren't you? This isn't working. I don't know why it's not working. You read any of the manual? Nah.
You need to just ask AI for a summary.
Water thing, but it just got so busy at some of them that you're like, I can't remember. I think I was like 3 or something, but it just gets so busy, and you ended up. I mean, I seen, as Paul said at the start, I seen more people falling and colliding with each other than I've done in any other marathon. I don't know why that is, but maybe it was just unlucky it was around me, but there was definitely a lot more crashing and falling.
I just had another recollection. In the latter hydration tables and that, there was food, wasn't there?
There was some bits with food. I think it was bananas and
like cookies and like flapjacks and stuff.
The fish-shaped pancake. You know, see that?
Fish. I didn't see the fish-shaped pancake.
I think it's been after there was a pancake in the shape of a fish. Don't know what that was all about, but no, I don't think I could eat at that stage. It's bad enough sometimes drinking your gels. I'm not convinced I could eat.
No, I know. Does the fish shaped pancake taste of fish?
No, I think it tastes of pancake.
Fishy pancakes, Donny.
We need to go back and check that out.
We will. This is the demanding a return. So quite glad, I think, then to be within the spitting distance of the finish line when that time came.
Oh God, I just wanted to fight. I'm like that in every race, to be honest. I think we were chatting about having done quite a few marathons. Well, I think I've only done 7 different marathons. These ones in Malaga. I've not really done that many others. So I don't really. People say, "What did you enjoy the most?" It's a different question for me. It's what one did you hate the least? Never really enjoyed any of them. I like the whole thought of it, but it's for me, it's what one did you hate the least? And I don't know, it's still hard to rate them. I love going, I love travelling, I love meeting folk, doing things, seeing different places, but the marathon just usually spoils it, doesn't it?
It's a means to an end.
Each other on if we actually really enjoy it. Although your photographs at the end, I came to the conclusion, I don't think you try hard enough. There's not one photograph I'm smiling in. I've got drool and sick and all that down my Burnley away shirt. And not one photo do I look as if I want to be there. Not one. I lay in between 2 tents at the finishing line in the fetal position for about half an hour waiting on somebody phoning me because I couldn't see the names and numbers to phone and catch up with them. I endure it rather than enjoy it. And I still do it again.
We had Tanya on last week, who was running the Desert Ultramarathon series, and she was finishing the Atacama in Chile. Should be finished by now. She said 4 or 5 times how much she detested running. She just
Really?
hates running.
I'm with her.
Yeah,
I'm
she does it
absolutely
for
with her.
the associated stuff that comes with it is the motivation for doing it. So
Absolutely,
yeah.
I'm all in. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah, you're fine. It's fine you saying that. As soon as you're injured, you're like everybody else, a moany get.
Oh, you
because
miss it. Oh, you kind of want to run. I mean, God, we're all kind of running away for something, aren't we? For being honest, even if it's
Whoa,
just.
dig into that in another episode.
Okay, I'll come back to that. Well, maybe I just want to keep. You want to keep a unit of fitness, even if it's running away from old age. You know what I mean? We're all running away for something.
Yeah.
So I still like to do it, I guess. But as far as enjoying it, I don't know.
And then in terms then of hitting that finish line, Derek, content you ran a pretty awesome race in terms of your splits, and considering the long haul flight and the weather, which made some of us not perform maybe as good as they maybe wanted to. What were you just in the 3 hours and change?
Yeah, so it was 3 hours and 2. So I think everyone, some people don't know, say, oh, could you not just sped up at the end? But of course, everybody knows. You know fine well it's gone about mile 20 or something. You know you're not calling the 2 minutes back. Yeah, glad to see the end. I think, the last bit, once you've done that out and back, where you kind of went into the posh shops of Ginza, and it was kind of quite a narrow bit, that seemed to go on forever. And I knew we were turning left, and it kept looking forward, going, right, must be left, must be coming up. So yeah, like most people, I was just happy when that left came, and it was only 200 metres when you turned left into the finish line. So yeah, I was delighted with my time. As you say, there's, and I think we talked about that a lot. You do a X 1,000-mile flight. You're not sleeping for 3 days. You're walking a lot, trying to ram everything in beforehand, like go-karting or football, and then you're expecting your body to go, right, come on, just do a fast time, please. So that's part of the challenge. But I think the more you do, I think you realise actually the time's not the important bit. I think that way. I think the first couple I think New York was the first chance where you kind of think, actually, I'm really enjoying the weekend more than worrying about my time. And I think that was the same in Tokyo. Delighted to finish, delighted with my time, and really had a great weekend. So yeah, no regrets about the 2 minutes at all to try and get under the 3. I loved it, but I really didn't spoil the whole weekend. The whole, can you say a weekend? We ripped ours at that weekend a wee bit, didn't we?
The whole fortnight.
Aye, the whole fortnight.
I'm detecting a wee undercurrent there about cramming things in. You had 10 minutes to yourself on the Wednesday.
Oh, sorry, Paul. I forgot you. I'm sure we'll come on to the Google list before the end of this.
We will. Stoddy, did you manage not to be sick at the end?
Oh no, I was sick.
Were you sick?
Oh, I don't know how. I don't think there was anything left in my body. I think my body started to eat itself. But I know I expect to be sick.
Is that 6 out of 6 sick?
Oh,
aye. So
I wasn't
6.
sick en route though. So
No.
that was
But
all right.
like, somebody asked me when John was speaking to me last week how many times I had to go to the toilet during my 6 stars, and it was just the once in London. But 6 stars, 6 spews.
Yes. And a couple of them caught on the finish line on the Chicago one. I crossed the finish line, and their official video has me just spewing on myself. And in New York as well, I crossed the line and spewed, and they gave me a sick bag. So all my photos in New York, I'm standing holding my sick.
It's it's better than a Ziploc bag of piss, right? Which was discussed last week. And also, that's the type of content that people need to see on your reels.
Oh, what? Sick? Down my chin? Oh, I don't
Authentic.
know. Spoils a good Burnley away shirt, as you would say, when they come on Old Vest. But
authentic.
The Chicago video is actually a really, really good one. I think 2 yards after it, and then just projectile vomit. I don't know how. I don't know how there's anything in my stomach. Oh, well, I didn't really have much to eat apart from 6 Morton gels. That's Morton and Tracksmith mentioned. I'm going to be quids in here, aren't I?
Oh, you're going to be absolutely inundated with offers. Yeah, we'll try and track down that footage so that the viewers have a visual treat to look forward to post listening to this. Okay, I promise. And at the end, it was, it was a bit of a maze, wasn't it? I remember, and I finished, and obviously you guys had kindly waited on me, for a good wee bitty. So thank you for that. To get our 6-star medals for Paul and I. Derek kindly filmed. He was the videographer of capturing that moment, and thank you for that too. But then it was a bit of a maze to get out and get to where our baggage collection was, which I don't know if it's done by design so that you just keep on walking, which is, I suppose, decent for you. I wasn't in too good shape at that point.
I think because we had met up, it made it a bit more manageable. I think if you were on your own, that might have been more challenging. And we bumped into another couple of photos. Somebody was it the PH Racing? Is it Sarah? I can't remember.
I Sarah Patterson.
So
Yep.
we bumped, and obviously Gary as well.
Gary from Perth Roadrunners.
Perth,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think if you were on your own, that'd have been a bit more of a drama and a bit more challenging. Because we'd all met up, it made it not so bad.
No, I think if I was on my own, I'd have been greeting. I think I maybe was greeting anyway.
To be fair, yeah, it's nobody's probably listening. Nobody's listening. It's just us three. You were greeting Watty.
I know. So I'm no shame in that. Like, I'm all right with that. Derek.
I think the thing that I remember though about that walk, just at the end of there, was how smiley and welcoming the volunteers were. And I remember that a lot of the places. I think they seemed to really enjoy you being in the city. Because remember, as we walked along there was some unfortunate guy with a sign every block, and they're like, "Oh, just keep going this way. Congratulations, well done." So I think that helped a wee bit. I do think because we were all charity runners, I think that was a block, because I think there was a dinner, or there was something upstairs in that block that you could have went to as well. But as you say, but we're not feeling that great. Some of us, and we just wanted to get back. So I don't know if that's why it was a wee bit further away.
Yes. Remember what, during that walk back, or if it was maybe just after we grabbed our bags, the signs in Ginster saying no clapping, cheering, or applause.
Yeah,
it was like being at a Saints game. Before you say it. Which was a first time I've ever seen that.
That was a bit of a strange scenario, wasn't it? No clapping. No fun.
Was it not banners or something as well? I thought it was more the banners. That was just at the point when we were heading back to tell. Remember, we crossed the route again, or we couldn't cross the route. So they don't have it in London. With these passing points where they try and narrow and you go half and half. So we had to go under the underground. Remember?
Right,
I don't know how many flights of stairs that was.
There
was a fair amount. I think there was maybe about 10. Maybe it was 10, but 8 flights of stairs down. Then you walked 20 yards to come back up the 8 flights of stairs.
I know, just twisting your melon, weren't they? And by then, Paul, you'd got your 6-star medal. Congratulations on that.
Okay. And yourself?
You've done it at breakneck speed, both in terms of your finish times and your cadence of getting through the World Majors. What's that? 3.5 years or something?
Yeah, 2021. I done London in 2021. Yeah, I got a charity place there, and then kind of time qualified for them all, apart from Tokyo.
It was 2021 of September, London.
Yeah, October, I think.
October.
Definitely.
Aye.
An autumn one, yeah.
October 21 to March 25. Boom.
Yeah, I've done London a few times in between that. Again, London's just dead easy for us, isn't it? Because we get time qualifiers, and it's only £60, £69. It's it'd be rude not to go when you get the opportunity. You're almost getting invited. No, but it is so easy to get to. My
Welcome to Young Hearts Run Free Elite podcast.
My oldest son obviously lives down there now as well, so I've got more reason than ever just to kind of keep going while I can and see him once a year.
Okay,
you're going to get a lot of hate mail for that, Paul. You do realise that, don't you?
I know.
How easy it is to get into London.
I know what I mean by
what's
just
it
to
unfollows on
clarify.
his
No, I need to
Instagram.
clarify that we met quite a lot of folk over there, chatting to lots of people, Americans in particular, they say that London's the hardest one to get into. So what I mean by that is, for us being in the UK, it's actually one of the easier ones to get into. They can't. They seem to find that the most challenging. You know exactly what I mean.
Oh, we know what you mean,
Twisted
but it'll no stop the hate mail.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so London apparently for everybody else is the hardest one to get in. Everybody outside the UK. But there you go. So we're fortunate.
We are very lucky. Happy to get the 6-star medal though, and hopefully it's proudly on display now.
No. It's
No.
I've got a wee frame for it, but it's lying on the floor next to all the other ones.
Yeah. Mine's are sitting in a wee bundle here, and I'm just sussing out what I'm going to do.
Like
Derek.
everything else, the anticipation of getting these things exceeds usually the reward when you do, doesn't it?
But I've just actually stopped wearing mines this week when I'm cutting about at work and stuff like that, and taking photos when I'm just on average runs around the inch and perth, to be fair, is my Instagram.
I actually
posts.
do not know if you're joking. You could be serious. Your medals, and especially your 6-star one, must be the most photographed medals in the history of medals.
Sure,
Must be. See every time I seen you looking around in Tokyo scouting for another wee bit, I'm thinking, oh God, he's got to get the fucking medals out again. Because my arms are sore. I've not been to the gym since. My arms are still sore by holding them in those positions.
Yeah, you were my right-hand man in terms of, yes, thank you for that. I just felt it was important to capture the moment.
Aye, once or twice.
Yeah, you were getting annoyed at me wearing them because they were kind of jangling like a sort of cow in the Swiss Alps.
It was, it was like a cowbell, constantly everywhere. Oh, there's Watty coming. Where is he? Oh, I can hear him. He's over the northeast. 3 clicks. Ding, 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 ding.
Moving swiftly on. Okay, we actually talked about running for quite a segment there. Possibly one of the longest times that we've ever talked solely about running in the podcast history. So sorry about that, listeners. We'll get back on to the food and drink, shall we say, of the podcast. Let's talk a wee bit about the scran. Any scran highlights?
Other than the egg sandal? The egg sandwiches, they were getting built up to something that could never have really been matched, but they were as good as what we expected them to be.
Yeah.
Of all the culinary delights all around the world and in Japan, and the first thing I talked about was an egg sandwich. Can you believe that?
I wouldn't have believed it unless I also partook.
There is something about the sweet bread and the mayonnaise, which obviously we've bought since we got home, the Japanese mayonnaise.
Koopy.
But I actually thought going to Koopy. I actually thought going to Japan might be challenging for me, being a vegetarian. Thankfully, Japanese for vegetarian is vegetarian. So it wasn't too hard to convey that to them. But thankfully, their Japanese people's English is far better than my Japanese. It was actually quite easy for myself. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard, the noodles and veg, should it? But no, the food is really good. Really, really good. That the place we went to that done all the tempura, that was fantastic. Like camembert tempura,
Oshio
sweet potato
tempura and wine bar.
Oh, the tempura was outstanding. I'd go back there.
That was good.
I'm cultivating a thread on Twitter with everything that we ate just now. Hence the reason that it's fresh in my mind. The time after the after morning of the marathon, and we went to a place that served giant gyozas. That's the one. Yeah. And Paul had a bowl of boiled rice.
Yeah, thanks for that, guys.
And then
for the record, they went ahead while I took some merch home to the apartment. You guys, I'll eat it as long as nothing was killed in the making of it. I'll eat that. So I got a bowl of rice.
I'm sure there was some vegetables as well. I'm sure there was.
a couple of sugar snap peas maybe, and then Derek and I are in a
there might have
food
been some
coma.
vegetables, but it doesn't suit my agenda here, if I'm being honest.
You couldn't eat for the rest of the day. These guys were huge. And rather than sharing it, it's, oh, we'll have 8 each. Oh, yeah.
And Paul picked up about 8 hours later to say, "Oh, I've had to eat the days of bowl of rice." We're like, "Oh, I forgot that we've been stuffed for the last 8 hours, Derek." He's wilting away to nothing, dragging me to go and see a bloody statue of Doug.
Oh,
Anyway, those guys were good though.
I'll take your word for it. Take your word for it.
they're really good.
They were. I'm pretty sure they were vegetarian as well. I just didn't know what it was. Oh, any other food highlights?
I think
I don't think I had any food lowlights, to be honest. Sorry, Derek.
No, you go.
No, that was me. I didn't have any lowlights at all.
No, I
apart
don't
from
think so
the
either.
night
I mean-
where nobody cared for me and I just nibbled the rice. But apart from that, it's fine.
The night we went for the ramen, because I wasn't there a huge ramen. You know, you go to Wagamama and a lot of these places. I'm not a huge fan, but that ramen that night in that wee place that we struggled to find in the middle of nowhere.
Turns out it was behind a curtain to find the door, and there was like 8 seats in it. Yeah, the wee hole in the wall. Yeah, finding it was a challenge.
It was like Challenge Annika, wasn't it? Trying to find that.
You get the map
brilliant.
out. But the other thing was the fried bread. Is it Aga3? How do you pronounce it?
Agasan.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah,
That was-
45-minute wait. What's the 45-minute wait for a
45
deep fried sandwich?
Well, it was for you, what? Because you just went up the road to the shower. We fucking waited, didn't you? So, yeah, back on.
Tell you what, man, you're there with a fucking minor celebrity. You're there basically my water boys. So thanks. Thanks for that. I jest. You're painting a picture that wasn't quite how it was planned out there.
Oh, no, it's bang on accurate.
Now, okay, yeah, those sandwiches were quite unique, to be fair. I don't know, deep fried bread with
fried
filling.
Fried bread, wasn't it? It's fried bread for a Scottish breakfast. With
cream in it though.
fillings in it.
Still the cream. People say that to here and you go, oh, no thanks. But that was pretty good.
Well, we waited that long. I went for a sweet and a savoury one. I think I went for the egg in my savoury one, and then I got a creme brulee. So creme brulee squashed into fried bread actually sounds, as I'm describing it, pretty disgusting. But it was okay.
Heart attack and a bit of bread.
Yeah, all those calories we burned off straight back on.
Absolutely, and why no? And I don't think we've mentioned this before. On the night of the marathon, we went and played baseball, didn't we? That's no a normal thing to do post running a marathon, is playing baseball in a massive batting cage. What the fuck?
That was a little bit surreal. Yep, that was quite surreal looking back.
That was
something
my,
we'd sort
that was
out,
my
actually,
biggest
wasn't it?
disappointment of the whole weekend, of the whole week. I couldn't hit a ball. Remember? That was getting embarrassing. I think at the last one, the ball hit off my bat rather than me hitting the ball. But
I think even that, Derek, was hit the back wall first and then came and hit your back.
I don't know.
Yeah, there was.
It was a bit simple, wasn't it?
It was. There was lots of unique things that we did. We did a fair bit of planning, it's fair to say, beforehand. Care to allude to, Derek, how many items were on our Google Map to-do list?
117. 117 at the end, yeah.
Derek, you said that with open your mouth. 117 things on our to-do list in Tokyo, and I don't know if we managed to make a fair dent in it.
Yeah,
Done
definitely.
quite a bit. We were never going to get around it all, but we've done a fair bit. Some of it was just going and standing next to that wee Doug, where you had a face like absolute thunder.
It was pissing down a snaw. They had a wind that would cut you straight in half, and Derek by this point had made a very, very sensible decision to tap out for the day, right? And we're going to Shinjuku or Shibuya to see this statue of a Doug, this loyal Doug. I'm thinking it must be pretty impressive. We're going 10 kilometers on the tube to see this thing, and we rock up, and it's about, like, I don't know, but the size of my Doug.
Do you know, it actually took me back. It's like dragging Waynes round places that they really don't want to go. They just don't want to do anything. And it was like dragging you to that. Your face like thunder. Your face tripping you.
I remember that time I was in that outdoor onsen at the top of the hotel in the roasting hot water, the snow coming down. That was much better than the Dug, I think.
Did you hate company at that point?
Well, that's another story. I think that's the X-rated version. We'll keep on to that later.
We get that on the Patreon content.
I guess that was quite a culture shock, eh? Well, it was for me. The onsens, and you can't even take a towel in to cover your modesty. That was a bit of a culture shock.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gender split.
Well, not all of them. The ones we were at were, but they're not all.
Oh, we didn't find those ones.
Oh no, I had a good wee look. There was quite a few nearby. I just didn't want to suggest it.
That's where you disappeared off to.
That's a wee bit strange. I guess it's strange to us. That doesn't mean it's strange, is it? It's just
no.
To us.
Normal culture over there. And there was other things. In terms of top couple of activities that you done, anything stand out? Loaded question here.
The carton was fantastic.
The carton was good. Yeah, the carton was excellent. And then I think just the day up to Nico was good. I enjoyed that, getting out the city, up in the cable car, seeing the waterfall, in the onsen, another onsen.
Yeah, that was at the World Heritage Site, where the shrines and stuff were. Yeah, that seemed to be a different pace of life out there than we've been exposed to in Tokyo. Yeah, although it wasn't chaotic madness at Tokyo. It was just the volume of the place, the size of the place.
Yeah.
But the karting for me was the most surreal thing that we did. Like
I would highly recommend that to MD. Although if I was taking children there, I'd be at a hearts and mouth, because it wasn't without danger. If you think that you were on the main roads, it's like driving go-karts over the Kingston Bridge in Glasgow. I mean, there was cars at some speed and trucks and buses like a few inches from us at times. So it wasn't without its kind of awkward and kind of dangerous moments. In hindsight, we should probably done it after the race, just in case. But our thought was we'll be sitting down. It won't take a lot of physical demanding effort. But yeah, I don't know if I'd do it with the family, to be honest, because it would be a bit of danger associated with it.
Well, you were like Max Verstappen.
Oh, I wasn't giving a shit.
Yeah, I was like, this is him in the first mile of his marathon. Go-kart version.
That was good fun. Really, really, really good fun.
I made a reel up about it, and there's a video that the company had taken of the three of us kind of waving, you know, and it looked like the start of Family Fortunes, you know, how the theme music plays and everybody waves at the camera. Watch it back, and it's like that. It's like, it's the Walk family. But no, it's I'd say it's a must-do thing if you're travelling to Tokyo, is to do the Japan kart, Mario Kart.
Yeah. And I think the Japan kart one, just to give them a wee plug, was probably the best one to do it with. It looked the safest because they had a proper vehicle front and back. Some of the others just seem to be, I don't know, cutting about in their own free will, which is adds another bit of danger, real danger. So yeah, I think, but again, that was all planned, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. No, that was a great thing to do. And Derek, you touched on getting out of Tokyo, so to speak. We managed to have a couple of occasions where we caught the local trains out and about up to Nikko, and then another time to Yokohama.
Yeah.
11 minutes on the bullet train.
That was
700 for a 700-mile journey.
But what struck me with that is just how obviously clean and efficient and everything is, but how polite all the staff are, and all the bowing as the conductor went through the carriage and bowed to the carriage before turning round, and you know, it's just like.
The weekend after we got home, I was talking to Liz about that, and we were on the last train home from Glasgow, right? Queen Street to Cumbernauld. The last train home, if anybody's ever been on, it's like a zoo. And there was no bowing there. It was just the conductor taking folks' drink off them. Let's shouting matches. I think, oh, this wouldn't be happening in Japan. Take me back.
Okay, and then better touch on running again. Yeah, we managed to get a few other runs in as well whilst we were over there, fortunate enough. I wish I'd taken a few extra layers of clothes because the weather taking a right dip after Marathon Sunday. It changed entirely on the Monday, and it was we were out running. I was like, "This is miserable as fuck. This is absolutely Baltic." And if it wasn't for the fact that these two boys going out for a run, I'd just be running back to the hotel right now.
You think our weather's changeable? That week was a different level of changeable weather. But I don't. Am I right in saying it was the warmest Tokyo marathon ever on record? Was it 20, 22 degrees or something like that? Which wasn't the heat. And I love running in the heat. Maybe not racing in the heat. I actually like the heat, probably because it's usually pissing down and freezing over here. It's a bit of escapism, but it was pretty warm. And then the next day, snow. Who'd have thought it?
And we also went to try and see Mount Fuji on said day, and it was shrouded in.
It was shut, basically, wasn't it?
It was shut. Mount Fuji was shut. So that was a bit of a disappointment, but we didn't let it ruin things. Had plenty of photo opportunities.
We got to Lake Hakone, and what are we, a mile from Mount Fuji there? A mile and a half, and we couldn't see it. Didn't even know what direction it was in without looking at Google Maps. Couldn't see it at all. And then on the Friday, 65 miles away, clear as day from Skytree. Couldn't make it up.
That's it. Derek, you managed to see it for the flight, right?
Yeah, the flight in, I could see it.
Okay.
It really just stand eye. So at least we've seen it. At least both have seen it from a distance.
We didn't feel so bad for you because we were like, because Derek had to. Your flight was earlier on the Friday, whereas ours was later in the evening. So we got a wee opportunity. We didn't want to get that word in.
Well, I wouldn't have seen it from the window because Watty booked the seats, so he had all the window seats. So.
But you get when you're the main booker.
You booked one thing.
The flights. Cheeky bastard. And in terms of then the run and the race, anything you'd have done different, or has it just been Paul? Would you go out easier? Would you consider it?
Oh God, no.
No.
But every time I do run, I do think I'm going to do this a bit more conservatively. And in fact, I've done it in Berlin. I went out a little bit more conservatively, and what was I? 50 seconds above 3 hours because my knee was. It was before I was going for knob. I was just planning it. Thought I'll just go out I'll science it. I'll just do exactly 3 hours, and my watch was a wee bit out, and it was all kilometers rather than miles. My watch was in miles, and didn't have my glasses on, so I actually thought I was under 3 in Berlin, and I was just going to be just under 3, maybe 30, 40, 50 seconds under 3, and I turned that. I hadn't turned the corner towards the Brandenburg Gate yet, and my watch clicked the marathon time. I was like, oh fuck. So turned around, and there's still like a quarter of a mile to go. And I was just hitting the 3 hour mark, and I thought, oh, fucked it. So I like to have a wee bit in the bag. So I will always go out a wee bit tastier, regardless. And sometimes I might hang on, sometimes I might not. But like I say, I'd rather give it a wee go and fail rather than regret never giving it a go.
There's Derek. Have you got a negative split in your bag?
No, probably not. Not often. I think I'm not as big a split as Paul, but I'm usually, 127, 128, and then whatever 130, 131 or something on the way back. So not a huge difference, but I don't think I have it in me to go faster and faster as it goes on.
No, like me, 125, 145. That's me, my style.
I need to walk the first half to go a faster second half. And even then, I'd probably struggle.
I do know what you mean, though, because there's times when I've tried to go out conservatively and still died a slow, lingering death.
You're going to tire regardless.
But there is then, you speak to wise people, and they're like that. You're doing something wrong there, big man.
Definitely. But
each to their own. Each to their own. Well.
Ah,
So,
See, to be
that
fair,
for
it's a
that.
marathon as well. It's not something you do that often, and especially racing it, to play about with it too much. You know what I mean? It's not as if you're going out this Saturday to do a 10K. I'll try a different tactic. I mean, it's quite a sizable event. You don't do it that often. You play about with strategies. Well, I certainly don't.
yeah, it's fair enough.
And it would be remiss of me to no ask what you had on your feet, because it's always a talking point on the podcast. Derek, Schwanks,
Schwanks, yeah. Alpha Fly ones,
OGs,
AGs. Still had a couple of pair of them kicking around.
a couple.
Well, one's a bit wrecked now, but
Okay.
Paul sourced me some last year.
You're welcome.
And the genuine.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Oh,
The
fair
ones
enough.
I think Nike did a sale on last Christmas. My daughter actually bought me a pair. They had some sale on the original ones last year, so I had them. Still good.
Paul,
I'm the same. The OGs, original Alpha Flies, and like Derek, I've got a couple of brand new pairs in stock. Whenever I see them on your eBay or StockX at a reasonable price in my size, couldn't care less about the colour scheme. I've tried the 2s, the 3s, the Adi Zero. I've tried quite a few different things, but I don't think anything comes close to the Nike original Alpha Flies. So I've got a couple of pair box brand new for the next couple of marathons in the next year or so.
tell you what, it's like these boxes here, they're just all empty boxes that I buy off eBay. Empty boxes up here. See them? Most of them are Fiona's as well. So I think it'd do with me.
There'll come a point though where you can't get the it's not being kind of ballsy having multiple pairs of shoes. It's just because I know you're not going to be able to get them for much longer.
No,
But
I know
to be honest, I think a lot of people have the same thought on them. So I think it must just be a matter of time before they reissue them, I would think. Because I've tried the 2s and 3s, my feet hurt with them. I don't think they're quite the same as the originals. What did you wear, Stephen?
I wore Vaporfly 3s.
The 3s. Oh,
yeah.
You could have bought the 4s on a special release the day before. And
I know, I kind of regret not doing that.
See, I did say you should just get them, because I like to also regret the things you do than rather than regret the things you don't.
That's this week's t-shirt slogan, Derek.
Within reason, not any major crimes or anything, obviously.
Well. So yeah, I know they were the prototype colourway of the Vaporfly 4s were released, the Saturday before the marathon, and we were in the shop. Let's just say they didn't have them in my size, just to qualify it.
No, they did. We went and asked, you asked, they had them, you tried them, they fitted like an absolute glove, and you shat it. In fact, Derek and I were out in the morning and we seen the queue building like an hour or 2 hours before the shop even opened. Why were we out? Why weren't we running? Oh, I lost a tooth. Yeah, I lost a tooth the day before. Our travel sweeties, I had one of those, just a bag with one sweet in it. What was it? There was Cadbury's chocolate eclair toffee things. And I thought I'll just throw that out. There's a sweet. I wasn't going to throw out a sweet, and I ate it, and it pulled a tooth out. Couldn't make that up. So yeah, we went looking to get some sort of temporary filling compound, and we failed miserably at that. But we found a big queue for a Nike store that were selling early release trainers that Watty shat it to buy.
Shat it. Anyway, let's move on for that particular Watty related story. This isn't about me, it's about you.
It's always about you, Watty. I've learned that.
That's a hell. Any other lasting Japanese thoughts or memories?
I think just the weird things. Maybe I guess. Remember
That's a weird thing, Derek.
The first day we were going out running, and we seen the kind of Amazon robot going up the street delivering God knows what, but it was just like on its own, like a wee dog walking up the middle of the street. Nobody bothered whatsoever. I suppose they're common in a lot of places now. That's the first I'd seen one.
If that was in Glasgow, that'd been somebody's house. They'd be Jimmy and that open, wouldn't they? In fact, do you know what, it's just touching on that. That's probably something that's a bit of a standout. There was no BAMs on the street.
There's no. You're right.
There's just no BAMs.
Yeah. No,
Maybe we're just not in those places, but
Yeah.
I don't think they exist over there.
We've got a lot of listeners who know what a BAM is. Define
I don't know how to
BAM.
describe that then. A no-gooder.
A
Maybe.
no-gooder.
A no-gooder.
That's a very, very diplomatic way of putting it.
Nothing to
Well
do with their
done.
time and just annoying folk, probably.
Yep. Yes, maybe a bit of substance misuse thrown in there as well. I didn't see much signs of that as well.
Well, we tried hard, boy. Could you find any?
That was post-marathon, to be fair. Aye, no BAMs, but those little robots delivering parcels, that was also the first time that I saw one of them in the flesh. And I was like, I could surf on that. I could get a no bad segment time if I jump on that.
I think they'd probably be prepared for that and have some sort of booby trap, which would also have been good to test.
Aye. But you're right, if those little wee robots were fleeing about the streets of, say, Perth, that just wouldn't work.
No,
It
definitely.
would be bloater numbing everything onto the road. And it's that whole compliance of rules and following the rules was one of my big takeaways, was the fact that people are well versed in following the rules.
Yeah. I was explaining that to a couple of friends over here, and they were kind of shaking their head, thinking, "Oh, it sounds too regimented for me. People are scared to go out of line." I don't think it was that at all. I think it was just
No.
politeness, not a hard rule. Just people being polite.
Yeah, respect.
I
I think that was it. Everyone just had kind of respect for their fellow Tokyo livers.
That's it. Just a culture. Just
Yeah.
quite good. Quite addictive, actually.
Yeah, definitely. The other strange one.
Aye.
Remember that night, all trying to get the restaurant. There was two places we went into. One knocked us back. They said, "Oh, smoking or non-smoking." We said, "Oh, not non-smoking." Nah, sorry, couldn't get in because we weren't non-smokers. And then the other place where we picked two things off the menu. Remember, they kept saying, "No, we don't have that. No, we don't have that." Well, that was just a bit strange that first night. I thought we were being profiled.
Just because we're Johnny foreigners.
Did seem a bit strange.
Some racial profiling going on. Is that you're suggesting the Japanese were racially profiling?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all.
There was.
Was that the night? Did we have kilts on? Maybe we were a bit shocked.
No. I think that was the first night.
On the night of the marathon, we did go to Pish Alley, and then we went to Golden Guy, which was a network of small alleys with little bars that maybe hold 8-10 people or so. And some of those bars had signs up saying, no foreigners or Japanese only. I noticed when we were walking around, whereas some of them were like everybody welcome, and that was just again, like, would you get that here? Do you know if we put up signs in a shop saying foreigners not welcome? But I think it's to do with the owner no speaking a word of any language other than Japanese. It's like, I don't think it's done.
I don't think it's as offensive seeing that as it would be over here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Yeah, it's strange. I never really thought about it that way. But no, you wouldn't really have that here. I don't think that'd be allowed.
Nope.
I don't think it was done with malice, as you're saying. Or maybe it is. Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, they do say it's over touristy, don't they? Japan and Tokyo in particular. So they are trying to have a little bit of a cull with that regard and slow down the amount of tourists that are there.
Yeah.
So we're now back. We've obviously enjoyed ourselves, we can tell that. Are you telling fellow clubmates, fellow folk that you run with, etc., aye or no, you should be going to Japan and thinking about doing the marathon? Derek?
Yes, definitely. That's what I've been saying to folk. Great experience. Definitely go for it.
Paul?
Similarly, yeah, absolutely. Not for running, like as I mentioned, I hate running, but to go and see another place that you might not otherwise get to go, and if that's the reason that gets us there, absolutely. I mean, Japan's just fantastic. I say that everywhere I go, though. You find the good in things as well, don't you? So I'm very unlikely to go somewhere and dislike it. But yeah, if that's it's a good reason to go. And do you know what? I don't know if I mentioned this to you. I've scratched the itch of doing it, and obviously because it was the last of the majors as well for us, one of the hardest to get to. But I think I would enter again at the ballot, and if I got in to go, it'd be another good opportunity to go again. So I think I would enter just the luck of the draw, and if I got an opportunity to go, it would force my hand to go again. It was that good.
I noticed that they announced today actually the date process for the 2026 Tokyo Marathon. As I remember, we were watching out for that last year at this time, and when charity places are opening, which is a window in June. But I did notice that general entry ballot is open the sort of second 2 weeks in August. So we shouldn't be telling anybody that if we want to up our chances
No,
of
that's
getting
just
back.
somebody else I'm competing against now. Well
But-
played, boy. Can you cut this bit?
I can do, but we've got public service responsibilities here, Paul. So sharing is caring. Yeah,
Watch
we'll
this
see
space.
them.
I'll get in and then I'll back out because it's not just round the corner.
No.
I mean, it's not that hard to get to, really. It is that place you can easily holiday in. There's so many different flight options. It's not that difficult. Although
No,
my bum was sore when I got there because it was quite a long flight.
it was. And Paul and I spoke about this last week. We went Edinburgh to Doha, Doha to Tokyo. Derek, you went a different route.
Amsterdam, KLM, then Amsterdam direct to Tokyo, same back.
Yeah.
Which was one big long flight rather than probably two medium flights that you guys went for. But it worked well. I thought it worked well.
So
Yeah.
so the three of us heartily recommend going and experiencing Japan. And if you're into running, then that's a good excuse. But didn't let that be the only excuse to go there. That would be my thing. I want to go back. You could maybe tell. So didn't feel that we certainly made a good attempt at scratching the surface, but I think there's a hell of a lot more that country's got to offer that I want to see as well. So,
Yes,
why no?
definitely.
Why no? So, thinking about time here, winding up. You've touched on this at the start, Paul. You've got your 6 stars now, but you're away to London in what, 4 weeks' time?
Yeah. Yeah. Might end up just being a long run. I'm still tired from Tokyo, I think, if I'm being brutal. I think my legs are still a wee bit tired. I'm putting it down to that, not old age or anything at all, just a wee bit of tiredness. So I don't think I've shook that off just yet. So yeah, Tokyo and then Berlin again in September, Derek, is it? So yeah, we're going there as a wee club trip with a few of our colleagues from the Cumbernauld, Jerry and Ross. So we're all going to Berlin.
Brilliant. And that is a significant trip for you, Derek, because that'll see you clinch your 6 star. So it'll be reason to celebrate.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully I'll make it fine. As you say, training. Hopefully I'll be injury free. But yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting that big medal you two guys did in Japan.
It's remember up your baggage allowance for the way home. It's a heavy fucker.
You just wear it.
I just wear it.
just be like me. I was that guy at the airport. Do you know this, Derek, actually? When we went to the airport, I was a guy that was over the baggage allowance and I had to unzip my case with the queue behind us. I wore 4 jackets home on the plane. What he had squeezing my kilt into his bag, and oh man, that wasn't embarrassing at all.
See, I'm worth taking along eventually.
Because you didn't even extra space in your bag. Mine just felt like
Exactly
Kit Kats and Japanese sweets. So
Japanese Kit Kats, aye. There's something there. Okay, so as is customary at the end of the podcast, we are looking for a word or phrase for each of you for throwing into your dialect dictionary. Derek, you've got one prepared. Paul hasn't, by the looks of things. So over to you first.
I'll go first. Mine's is moocher. Moocher. M-O-O-C-H-E-R. Or it might be from the French M-O-U-C-H-E-R. But in Glasgow, what it used to, there was 2 meanings.
Ooh.
One was someone who hung about the goals. I think it's called a goal hanger in other places.
Yep.
Basically, they mooch a goal, so they just wait and try and tap it in. But the best one used to be when you get money back in ginger bottles. You remember the days?
Yeah.
So you get, basically you would get them for folk like your mum or your dad or your gran or something, and you go to the shop and you buy a bottle of ginger. But some guys used to go around the closes and tap the doors and say, "Have you got any ginger bottles, missus?" And they were known as moochers.
Mooching bastards.
Moocher. Yeah. So no, is that a
Mo-
common, is that a Perth word?
Oh, aye.
Oh.
Often followed by the C word, actually, just didn't want to say it. You're a
Right.
mooching.
But yeah, it was all to do with ginger bottles when I was
Okay.
younger.
John, in food terms, he would be mooching off your plate. You want that bit of pizza? So think of me at Italy when we were eating that pizza and I was had my eye on, look at this moocher. So, moocher isn't in yet, but it is now. Thank you, Derek. Paul,
So it's not a Japanese one as such.
doesn't matter. It's entirely up to you. Best
Well,
choice.
I'm just I don't know if Google Translate works well for this, but in Japanese it just says ma, M-A, and that's the translation of well, which I heard quite a lot over my 10 days with Lottie. Well. Everything's absolutely royally fucked. Well.
It's not the end of the world, well.
Well. It's more a phrase than a word. A couple of wee words in Japanese. I don't know if it translates, but it's M-A, ma, is well.
Okay, we'll go with well. It's in. We needed an A, we've not got many A's, so well. You're in. And lastly, a song to finish up the Turning Japanese season playlist. This is the culmination of our season 12 playlist. A song choice from each of you. Derek, again, Paul, I can tell by the reflection of his screen in his eyes, is looking for inspiration at the moment.
Well, the obvious one, but I don't know if it's been before. I'd listen. Japanese Boy, Annika, has that been in?
It's already in, but it's only.
Well, the other one then
Okay.
was, it's a kind of strange related one. Thank You by Alanis Morissette.
Oh, aye.
And the main reason I listened to that, so that I listened to that a lot doing the training block. So, you know, different training blocks, you get different. But it was the guy who'd done the Camino. So there's a film Martin Sheen was in of the Camino. So it's a kind of, you know, a drama of him walking the Camino. And Alanis Morissette song was in it. It was just called Thank You. If you ever get a chance to listen to it, really good song.
I know the song, and I know the fella who done the Camino, who was a podcast guest, Des Pinney.
Yeah,
he absolutely loves the Japan content as well, so he's really going to appreciate this. Yeah, he's been in touch a few times. So
and watched it, and that song was part of the film.
Okay, it is now added to the playlist, Derek.
Okay.
Paul, finishing up the playlist. Big honour here for the 6-star recipient.
Doesn't need to be Japanese related specifically, does it?
Does it help?
I heard this the other day and I thought just that's what I need to be for my next run. So Daft Punk, harder, better, faster, stronger.
Okay, classic. Dafter, did that say?
Pardon?
Dafter.
Daft Punk, harder, better, faster, stronger, you're wido.
I'm glad you got that in the end. Okay, both in. Thank you very much. It just leaves me to sum up the podcast. Thank you so much. Thank you, firstly, so much for the company and the enjoyment of the trip and the whole experience. It was great to share it with you. And Derek, all the best in your training for Berlin and grabbing that 6-star. Wish I could be there, but you know, us normal folk who didn't have time qualifiers and all that couldn't quite squeeze in there on the plane. But Billy Big Boss here, I'll keep you right.
Everyone knows how humble I really am. If anything came out that way, it's been misconstrued.
It's okay. It's
lost
okay.
In translation.
There you go. There's a good Japanese what a Japanese related movie to finish us up on. Paul, well done on getting your 6 stars. In all seriousness, it's pretty inspiring, especially coming back for that knee surgery and the short training block to get to where you managed to get to. So all sincerity, well done, my man.
Thank you.
Brilliant
and
stuff.
Yourself. No, it was a really, really, really great trip with a couple of guys that, you know what, I probably couldn't have fallen out with if I tried.
I'll fucking try. Don't you worry. Right, thank you very much, chaps, and we'll catch you for a run very soon.
Right, see you.
Cheers, Steve.
Cheers,
Bye.
cheers, Derek. Cheers, Paul.